and welcome back, friends old and new. Deis Ferrous here, continuing our Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader run. When last we left off, we started to properly delve into Trazen's Infinite Museum. We fought our way through some captured and kind of brainwashed Krieg soldiers, got a bit of loot from some various exhibits, and explored a few of the exhibits that he has on display of Chaos and Eldar, there we go. Don't know why I started with that. Excuse me. We've just recently stumbled upon the Dargonis exhibit. From way back during when, what it sounds like, the Inquisition attacking Dargonis to take Siberian in for all of his heresies. We briefly fumbled a conversation check with, I think it was the Sarvok lad at the time, where I overthought what I needed to say there and ended up saying the wrong thing because I overthought it and got backwards, and we got killed. But we did not revert to a previous save point. Reverts back to the start of essentially the time loop here. So
I'll lay claim to the
things
stars.
are interesting. The path is blocked by a military cordon. You stop at a respectful distance, a reasonable response to the rifle muzzles pointed at your chest by way of welcome. Your gaze slides over their faces. The expressions are so eerily similar, they must have been issued along with the uniforms. Serving in the Astra Militarum brings with it insomnia, a stomach for slaughter, and a touch of hopelessness. You can tell who is in charge even before he speaks, and not by the big fellow's insignia, but by the crushing weight of his stare. Sergeant Brena Kazarkov, whoever you are, my lord, I advise you to recognize the present circumstances and come to the only right decision. This is no place for a stroll. And all the same, my promenade culminates in the palace. The Moravians grab their weapons. Before their chances of defeating you were slim, but now that you know all their fighting techniques, this will be no more taxing than a genteel hunting party. Those aren't some of the weapons my team has. And again, the beginning. The same outpost, the same voices, the same words you have already heard. Time does not flow here. It runs in circles. A monstrous trap set by devious Xenos. Hypothesis. The observed reality is a complex optical illusion constructed using perverse Xeno technology. Pascal swings a mechadendroid at the nearest section of wall, leaving a deep scratch on the stone. Replication level, extremely high. The hypothesis does not explain the observed effect of the time-space paradox. You and your retinue seem to be the only ones here still in possession of free will. The other captives of this mysterious trap are doomed to repeat the same actions over and over again, forever trapped in the day Dargonis was besieged by Inquisition forces. One thing is clear. The lies of the devious Xenos used to entangle existence must be sundered, and the time loop must be broken. The Lord Captain will not deign to spend any longer in this trap than he wishes. Cool, I'm glad it does just skip us through, like, the fight there. I wonder how it's going to deal with the conversation that comes up. It makes sense.
Follow my lead.
I think it's just that assumed you do everything the same and get the same results because you've done this. So you get all the same loot and stuff also. The gates of the palace look impregnable, but as you approach, hydraulic bolts hiss open, sliding into the walls. Three nobles, accompanied by enforcers, come out to meet you. They are led by a man wearing a uniform of Von Valancius colors. There's something vaguely familiar about the intact portion of his face. The rest of the stranger's flesh has been replaced with implants that have turned him into a macabre semblance of himself. The nobleman narrows his organic eye in suspicion. Excuse me. Its cerulean blue hiding beneath its dark lashes. You hear the hiss of servo motors and the creak of metal against metal as he casually rests his augmented fingers on the hilt of his sword, which is clearly of Zenith's origin. Wait for Siberian to invite you to introduce yourself. The same old situation, the same old words. Everything is repeating itself. Now you can decide whether to follow what is predetermined or try to break the cycle. Lord Captain, I am but one of the many servants of the dynasty who have come to your aid. Nonsense! I would remember if... Siberian stops suddenly. He peers intently at you before he speaks again. Confusion rings in his vox-distorted voice. Wait a moment. Perhaps I've seen you before. Or heard of you. He shakes his head, as if to ward off some hallucination. It does not matter. Though your intentions may have been honorable, the defenders of my palace fell by your hand. There can be no excuse for that. The penal soldiers were punished for their unforgivable insolence. They were a hair's breadth away from rioting. Siberian pinches the bridge of his nose and closes his organic eye. You suddenly see the exhausted man underneath all the augmetics. Fine, let these fools pass. Laria, dearest, find these idlers something useful to do, and make sure they do not repeat their stuff from earlier, or I won't be answerable for my actions. Understandable. Alright. As Siberian and his retinue move further into the courtyard, the seneschal bars your way. Her attire is austere and practical, as is the look she gives you. When she speaks, everything, her facial expressions, her voice, her bearing, starkly reminds you of Theodore's fugitive master of whispers. I'm Laria Voigtvir, seneschal and close ally of Siberian von Valancius. My father, the Lord Captain, likes taking risks. I do not. Until you prove yourself to my satisfaction, I'll be keeping my eye on you. Welcoming guests is not one of your talents, I see. So what do you want me to do? Let's leave the pleasantries to those who have time for them. You have only just arrived, but you strike me as an intelligent sort. You seem eager to make your mark. However, I have urgent business to attend to. We weren't expecting you, but rather the House Kaplak army. Find out what happened to it, and perhaps then I'll believe you are on our side. Present the evidence. The Kaprak offspring is dead. Laria listens to your story with an almost pained concentration. As the picture becomes clearer, her expression grows darker. When the coincidences become too great, that means it is already a pattern. Laria is silent for a time, weighing the evidence in her mind once more. So the scion of the Gaplaks was slain by like a common servant, and it happened in the shadow of the Von Valancius palace. We need the name of the murderer. Find the culprit, and I'll call you our ally. Since something akin to trust has sprung up between us, or to call things by their proper name, mutual necessity, Laria removes the signet ring with the Von Valancius coat of arms from her finger and holds it out to you. I imagine you know the value of such a thing. Henceforth, you may speak in my name. Be kind enough not to tarnish it. I believe I have a suspect. Really? Well, out with it. We need to sell this as quickly as possible. You cannot face the enemy with someone holding a knife to your back. Sarbach is the only person with a plasma gun, a gift from your father. It does cast a shadow over him, or it simply makes him the most convenient suspect. pulled out Juvena's order. It seems Isimond has gone to some length to earn himself a noble title. Juvena favors Isimond, and there's nothing wrong with that. But to prepare such documentation unbeknownst to me and father, I do not like it at all. There's no other evidence to confirm my suspicions. I've always liked Isamon for his discipline and his skills as an enforcer, however your words immediately make him a suspect. But we must have complete certainty, or else we cause turmoil in the past by acting rashly. Continue your investigation. That's all I have for now. Very well, I will await your next report. It'll be difficult to explain, but we are in a time loop. What kind of heretical nonsense is this? The woman tiredly rubs her temples. Yes, we have our difficulties with the Inquisition. They are of a somewhat different nature. Just think about it. I could have infiltrated the palace when surrounded by the Inquisition. Well, quite. My best scouts failed to return from behind enemy lines, and yet you stand here completely unharmed. And even if you had managed to pull off some miracle, you would not waste what little luck you had left by talking utter gibberish to the Seneschal. Laria wrinkles her nose, as if displeased by her own words. You notice the Seneschal's pupils contract for a second. All right, I'll play along. Tell me. We're in a trap, Laria. Something is happening to reality that is causing it to repeat itself forever. Why would anyone want to imprison us in this moment? It would take a grotesque mind to conceive of such a thing, but to what end? Unless the goal is torture? But who is the intended victim? Siberian has been struck in this trap for many cycles. You must get him out. You think I don't know that? A man like Siberian cannot languish here. He is vital to the dynasty, to the whole expanse. But the bitter truth is that I don't know how to help him. The Seneschal almost snarls at the realization of her own helplessness. Don't blame yourself. You could have predicted this outcome. Let's not waste time on empty words. If what you said is true, then you must put a stop to this abomination as soon as possible. What do you think my next step should be? Laria frowns. This is not my forte. Exalt 117 is better equipped to deal with esoteric quandaries. Go to him. That'll be all for now. Very well. I shall be here should you have need of me. And there is one more thing. My agents have code phrases for the most vital reports. Say the words, the wax is still warm, and I shall listen, even if what is being said sounds like rubbish. If there are many more cycles to come, this will save us a lot of unnecessary arguing. If you accept that I'm right about the time loop, I struggle to believe it, to be honest. As Siberian's side, I have witnessed many things that would confound even the most sound mind. If you are not lying, this will outdo them all. Oh, I think that's just for any subsequent failures. Okay, that's fine.
It's about time.
What did we talk to Jareb again? Hail! The Moravian salutes you and stands to attention, drawing his awkward form up to his full, unimpressive height. Sergeant Jerob Volchik, 32nd Medov, at your service. Forces from House Kaplak were supposed to arrive here. Do you know what happened to them? House who? Jerob moves to sheepishly scratch the back of his head, but catches himself. I wouldn't know, my lord. My unit's not reported any reinforcements arriving. We're making do with the troops we have. I must take my leave. The sergeant drops into a low bow in farewell. Okay, let's try talking to...
The machine gun grants me insight.
Ooh, I guess we succeeded that time. With a low roar, a wing of Valkyries emerges from over the horizon, hurtling towards the palace like raptors. The air raid siren sounds in time with their appearance. Within seconds, you hear the whistling of bombs as fire rains down from the sky. Oh? Should you be wait, you're just doing that out in the middle of the courtyard? I thought you were like in a building for that. Interesting. We just forward a lot. Isamund. The wounded man turns his head toward you, staring at you in disbelief out of his one good eye. The other eye is buried under clotted blood and swelling, which flanks a deep gash cutting across his eyebrows and temple. His pale face, with its sharp and delicate features, cannot possibly be a face of the commoner. Isamund Sadabak, to what do I owe the pleasure? Are you the master at arms serving the von Valancius dynasty? No, I command the forces as part of the palace defenses, hold the rank of captain. The man shows you the insignia embroidered on his sleeve. I lack the noble status required for a higher appointment. A minor setback. I believe that talent always finds a way to rise to the top. Nobles judge their servants by their deeds. I have done enough for Oakshire von Valancius to endow me with a title. The intact portion of Isamon Sarbak's face maintains a completely impenetrable expression. It's only a matter of time. How did you come by such a grievous wound? Stray shard. A frag grenade explosion grazed me. Think the thrown my eyes intact, or the enforcers would have lost one of their few competent commanders. Take a closer look at Sarbak's injury. I assume I passed. There's a stab wound from a glancing blow. A long and narrow blade pierced and tore through the skin. The swelling and various injuries to the blood vessels make the injury look far more gruesome than it is. If a shard from a frag grenade really had struck him, it would have taken out a good third of Sarbak's skull. The member of House Kaplak, as a true aristocrat, must have been fairly skilled with the sword, and managed to wound his attacker before death. The troops of House Kaplak sent to help the dynasty. What can you tell me about them? Nothing. The captain replies dryly and succinctly. I don't know their numbers or their possible time of arrival. I shall return later. Interesting. No, we didn't get killed when we talked to him this time.
My way.
Frag grenade mark 16. Modified crack grenade and some melter charges. Drives them over there. Lady Voigtveer. Juvena von Valancius. Pascal, if you would.
Operation successful.
Someone has managed to appease machine spirits, although the air defines batteries are malfunctioning. This requires high something something something. Strategist Majoris. I think working our way from the back forward is the best way to go about it. Juvena. To what do I owe your attention? The velvet tone with which Juvena greets you is impeccably courteous but cold. Everything about her figure, her bearing, even the expression in her bright blue eyes radiates polite aloofness. The reinforcements sent by House Kapak disappeared on their approach to the residence. Do you know anything more about it? Awareness test succeeded. Juvena's sharp cheekbones tense. She stoically maintains her expression, but her jaw clenches fitfully, betraying her agitation. All at once, the serenity and cool self-assurance vanishes from her gaze, giving way to visible strain. She was involved in whatever happened to the Kapak troops. That much is clear. I do not, she says with an elegant shrug. Hold out the title bestowal order. Are you planning to recognize the merits of Issamon Sauerbach? Juvenna seizes the paper and runs her eyes over it. Her chest rises and falls sharply, and for a moment it seems as if she is about to explode in outrage. But she immediately takes a deep breath and rips up the document into tiny pieces. She then offers you a saccharine smile. There is nothing to suspect about preparing title papers for a capable servant. That hardly means they will be acted on immediately, surely. What is suspect is how my intentions set forth on paper found their way into your grasping hands. Would you like to discuss this delicate matter somewhere more private? I'm pretty sure going with her just gets you killed, but I will risk it for curiosity's sake, honestly. I would be pleased to go with you. Then let us not delay. With a charming smile, Juvenna takes your arm, and she's gonna fucking cap me, isn't she? Right? Now I can speak freely. Let me tell you this. I have no idea who you are, but you made a mistake when you tried to interfere in my plans. Juvenna snatches a needle pistol from its holster and presses it under your chin. Yeah, I'm gonna shoot first. The last thing you hear is a repulsive, wet crunch as the needle pierces through your bones and into your brain. Darkness engulfs you. Well then. I had a 1 in 10 chance to fail that. Odds should have been in my favor. But we ball. Okay. Second verse, same as the first. Ooh. Tell the seneschal the wax is still warm. The soldiers look at each other in confusion. Zarkov reaches for the Vox transmitter. You hear Laria's voice on the other end. Their conversation is short. The sergeant stands guard even over his words. Zarkov nods, lowering his weapon. The seneschal is waiting for you. Cool, and these guys get to live this time. Not sure if that's good or not, though.
I won't tolerate weakness.
Got that fat fucking shield on his back. Hey guys. Hey, Laria. Stop. I won't let you see Father, I mean the Lord Captain, until you explain yourself to me. A woman in light armor seizes you by the elbow. Her face bears the traces of a recent battle. Her eyebrow is bandaged, and her right cheek is covered in a web of scratches. Her cerulean blue eyes, sharp cheekbones, and the stubborn quirk of her lips betrays a marked resemblance to Theodore's fugitive master of whispers. I'm Laria Voigtveer, seneschal and close ally of Siberian von Valancius. I do not know you or your retinue. How do you know my agent's code phrase? Laria's flinty gaze latches onto every detail of your apparel and equipment, as if she is hoping to find an explanation for what is happening. I received it from your agents as a token of supreme trust and came here to offer my assistance. Laria looks at you, her frank gaze lingering past the point of decorum, as if she were scrutinizing wares in a shop. Alright, I shall find a use for you. Don't make me regret it. And now you're going to ask me to find out what has become of the missing reinforcements. You're either very perceptive or very well informed. I appreciate both qualities. They're to my advantage. Report. That's all I have for now. The Kaprak offspring is dead. Laria listens to your story with an almost pained concentration. As the picture becomes clearer, her expression grows darker. The coincidence, blah blah blah, we've done that. That's all I have for now. Convince Laria that you are in a time loop. You notice the Seneschal's pupils contract for a second. Alright, I'll play along. Tell me. We'll do that again. That again. You know, we're in a time loop. We're probably gonna die again because I like to just mess around. Siberian is the one who should be upset. If my Seneschal allowed this to happen, I'd be deeply disappointed. Okay, she says the same thing. That'll be all for now. That is everything. Okay. Elite Strategist Majoris.
I'll lay claim to the
Interesting.
stars.
This Camilla drives them. Camilla drives them. Duchess of Dargonis, is there something you need? The elderly woman who catches your eye is more sanguine than the rest. Her bony fingers steadily work through a string of jeweled prayer beads. You were recommended to me as an exceptional conversationalist. Could I beg a few moments of your time? My time is valuable, so please do not waste it. With the loss of the Kapak forces, the Drivestem army has been left as the dynasty's only source of support. As a marshal of the Dominion, I have much to plan. I would not be wrong in calling you the governor of Dargonis. Camilla's wrinkled cheeks flush pink, visible even through the generous layers of powder. Oh, come now, my lord. I do not know who has sent you astray. That duty lies in the young but most capable hands of Lady Juvenna von Valancius. Of course, when her time comes to take the helm of the dynasty, a loyal ally will be needed to fill the position here. But for now, Dargonis could not wish for a better steward. Do you know what happened to the Kaprak army? I received word that the Kaplaks ought to have arrived at the palace by now. Perhaps something happened on the way, or perhaps the noble house has decided that defending Dargonis is not one of its priorities. Awareness test succeeded. Your question alarms the Duchess. She immediately interlaces her dry fingers, trying to hide her agitation. It's all lies. We're in a Xenos trap. Look at the sky. It's simply not there. I beg your pardon? Camilla presses her thin lips together, a look of mild revulsion is in her gaze. You poor thing. You must be in shock. Be sure to see the surgeon. I must take my leave. Camilla immediately loses interest in you, sinking into contemplation. Interesting.
Follow my lead.
Drives them Golder.
Speak, et
Oop.
vater.
Didn't mean to just grab you, Ulfar. Okay, let's talk to you again. Okay, I'll return later. Doesn't look like there's anything new there. Exalt. Don't mind me, Severe. Don't mind me and my group running around Siberian. He's more modified than Pascal. The malfunction is caused by erroneous data indexing. All-knowing Omniscience grant us a point of reference. Murmurs the tech priest, standing at the cogitator. A thick metal plate covers part of his face, and his strange-looking manipulators draw invisible circles in the air around him. A dry and quiet voice comes from the Vox speaker that has replaced his mouth. Your vector has been calculated. Please present your designation. I'm Deis. I serve Laudia Voigtveer. I wish to ask you a few questions. Matches in data index. Not found. The tech priest turns his head, directing the gaze of his absent eyes at you. You are addressing Majos Exalt 117, Chief Engine Seer of the Von Valancius flagship. Identification number 11782700012. I grant you permission to fulfill the objective of the selected trajectory. Speak. Identifier accepted. The sacred rank of Majos is confirmed. The subject status awaits validation. Pascal gives the tech priest a dry nod, as to an equal, and emits a lilting trill in Technolingua. Majos Pascal Hahnemann, Engineer Prime of the Von Valancius flagship. A poorly concealed challenge sounds in the rasp of Pascal's box. Immediate fulfillment of the request is not relevant. Request deprioritized. The tech priest regards Pascal with an indifferent gaze. Who among the palace defenders has access to plasma weapons? The only one in my data index is the enforcer Captain Isamond Sauerbach. He has been honored with the blessing of a dynasty plasma pistol. Other weapons are used outside the palace system. Do you know what happened to the Kapak army? Regretfully, no. That is outside the scope of the data index. Have you noticed that there is something strange going on? A steady hum comes from deep within the tech priest's body. The map of sacred knowledge is full of gaps, and only by refining them can thought advance. Tell me, what critical discrepancies have been recorded? The sky is covered in symbols. No one here can see them. That means you're part of this eerie anomaly. The vertical mapping of the terrain is updated regularly by my advanced vestibular augmetics. According to diagnostic logs, the last update occurred. A startled exhalation escapes the Majos' box grill. 500 cycles ago. No, that is not possible. Everything around us keeps repeating itself. It is akin to some strange technology. Your chosen network of data coordinates is not within my standard circuits of thoughts, but I find it necessary to perform the preliminary calculations. Does show the mechadendrite from the display case. Does this belong to you? I doubt it. My augments are an act of reverence for the Omnisaya, a flawless alignment of parameters. Their function and placement are calculated with perfect precision. Exalt 117 fixes his unseeing gaze on the piece of metal in your hands. Suddenly, he flinches. Calculations indicates the need for further study. To convince you, I would have to do something extraordinary, wouldn't I? Like beat you at regicide, for instance? This proposal goes beyond the patent of what is acceptable during a state of war. After a moment's silence, the Majos adds, more quietly, regicide is a closed system with deterministic outcomes, requiring no sophisticated navigation skills. I only play triple-blind vector regicide. One round of this entertaining game contains logical fun compressed to 30 seconds. So let's play. Tell me the rules. The Majos' exhaustive explanation, replete with numbers and obscure terms, takes some time. When your head begins to spin from the volume of information, he makes the first move, just by stating 2 words. Despite your best efforts, the game is over quickly. Exalt 117's moves are perfectly calculated. It is as if he sees the non-existent board in several dimensions at once. But all you can do is carefully memorize the play. After the final winning move, the Majos concludes, do not reproach yourself. Laypersons are often unable to track the numerical vectors. I personally reworked the rules of classical blind regicide to suit the calculation mechanisms of sacred machines. Alright, fair enough. Mistress Lauria sent me to seek your counsel, but what to do if one is trapped in a time loop? My path has always aligned with Seneschal Voidfears, but I see no need to answer hypothetical queries at this juncture. The Magus is silent for a long time. When he begins to speak again, his voice sounds faint, as though it is traveling across a great distance. Knowledge is the key to everything, and comprehension is the path to knowledge. Let us suppose that my data coordinates are based on a false point of reference. What alternative are you proposing? Um... The fact that you're alive and inside the loop, Majos, is its own strange detail in this anomaly. Do you remember how you ended up here? Interpolating an area of uncertainty. The calculation does not produce clear results. Why the interest in my memory map? Are you familiar with some of its key data points? I'm sorry, but outside the loop, I saw your remains. You died as a hero defending Siberian. The humming in the tech priest's mechanical organs fades, leaving you in sepulchral silence. For a moment, Exalt 117 becomes an unmoving, dead mechanism. This explains the limitations of my memory map, the falsity of the data index, the dysfunction. The ways by which such a thing is possible lie beyond my knowledge circuits, but I thank you for clarifying the coordinates. What I'm saying is a fact. You're stuck in a temporal anomaly. In each new loop, you forget everything that went before. The point of reference has been accepted as valid, initiating coordinate reconstruction. The humming of Exalt 117's internal mechanisms grow quieter, and in the rhythmic noise you hear this hushed whisper of surprise. The data index has harmonized. It radiates, cold. Why do you think I can retain my memories of past events? Initial hypothesis. An atypically high level of processes within the organic mind. After triangulating the data received, I propose that the cause is the lack of cognitive processing on the part of the operator. You have seriously disrupted the unseen data indexing the anomaly. Can you help me destroy the anomaly? Perhaps the loop will be stopped by a critical correction in the usual course of events within. Regrettably, I cannot perform the triangulation myself. I lack even the data to indicate exactly how long I have been here. The humming inside the Majos' body becomes irregular. Do you have a plan capable of altering the current trajectory of events? No, think of something. And you, be prepared to follow my instructions. May the Omnisaya lead us to our objective. Your attention is required elsewhere. Your calculations are regrettably flawed. I'm performing a priority function at the current physical coordinates. Please disconnect the cogitator from the cogitators and direct your attention to calculating the air attacks. Your tech trance is hindering your vigilance. After lapsing into silence for several seconds, Exalt 117 finally declares, "Your comment is notable for its surprising accuracy, constructing a new trajectory of movement. I must take my leave." Exalt 117 turns away from you. Oh, hello. The Valkyrie buoying appears in the sky yet again. faultlessly obeying the laws of the time loop. A moment later, the bombardment begins. But we got 117 on the air defense, don't we? I spent a fortune on those air defense batteries. Exalt 117 and find out why they're malfunctioning immediately. They've been received and prioritized. Interesting. It's not much different, though. Hey, Siberian. The stately nobleman is wearing a uniform in Von Valancia's colors. Augments cover his face, blah blah blah. Exactly why. The rogue trader watches you with interest as you take in his appearance. I've been informed that our allies have managed to break through the palace. But where are they? The noble looks toward the gates, then at you, and the organic part of his face betrays his slight disappointment. Don't tell me. You are all that's left. I must admit, I was expecting rather more sizable reinforcements. Despite the fatigue that bleeds through even the creaking distortions of his box apparatus, the man smooths the non-existent creases in his uniform and introduces himself with dignity. My name is Siberian von Valancius, but you already knew that. But this is the first I'm seeing of you. Noticing Ulfar, Siberian's face brightens. By the blood of the God Emperor and all the saints! What brings one of his angels here? But that hardly matters. What matters is that your presence will surely turn the tide of battle. Esteemed Majos, Siberian inclines his head slightly in greeting. I am pleased to see that the servants of the Omnissiah value their cooperation with House von Valancius. The skin that borders his augments tightens, and you realize that Siberian is frowning. Who are you? I serve the Seneschal, Laria, your lordship. Is that so? My daughter has a great many servants, but you are the first to dare speak to me directly. As a reward for your loyalty, I will not give you any lashes today, but I'm curious what you have to say in your defense. You should know that the Kabak scion who led the army of reinforcements was killed at the outpost. What? How do you know this? Despite his extensive implants, Siberian cannot hide his alarm. The deep furrows in the living patch of skin and the slight interference from the Vox synthesizer give him away. This is truly terrible news. Must inform the enforcers that reinforcements will not be arriving. Who would stoop to this crime? Has Deis fallen so low? I'm afraid that is all I know. The news of the Kapak Lord's death is tragic. For the loss of those reinforcements, perhaps your timely notification has forestalled our defeat. We will speak about your reward once this war is over. Among those present in the palace, is there anyone who owns a plasma pistol? Isimhond? He is a loyal servant. When Juvena presented him to me, I had no idea how valuable a subject he would become. The weapon you speak of, I personally gifted it to him for his services to the dynasty. Why is the Inquisition besieging the rogue trader's palace? Inquisitor Af Iraman dared to accuse me, a rogue trader, of heresy. He reckons that the influence of the Inquisition is so great that he can disregard the privileges granted by the warrant and attack me in my own palace. Diodas thinks he's above the God Emperor himself. Well, he will pay for his hubris. Aren't you afraid that someone close to you will turn against you? Heresy is a serious charge. My confidants understand the utter baselessness of these allegations. How could they not? How's your military responding to these accusations of heresy? My soldiers should not concern themselves with false accusations. Their concern is to serve their lord faithfully, and not to speculate about things they do not understand. What does Laria think about it? Laria is not only my seneschal, but also my daughter. The rogue trader's tone hardens. I will not allow you to even ponder the possibility that she is not on my side. Though the dubious circumstances of her birth bar me from recognizing her as the heir to House von Valancius, Laria has served the dynasty faithfully. As seneschal, she deserves my full trust and will support any decision I make. Speak with her and you will see that for yourself. Juvenna looks troubled. Attach no importance to that. Juvenna is always worrying. It is her nature. The girl grew up among the nobility and is accustomed to thinking in schemes and doubting everything. On this occasion, she is convinced that I should strike a deal with Af Elaman for the sake of the dynasty. But Juvenna does not understand that you never negotiate with an aggressor. Sometimes the answer is obvious, and today that answer is war. Her recent fascination with Saint Elena's biography must be confusing her, filling her head with idealistic thoughts. Everything's clear to me. Let's talk about something else. You are surprisingly imperious for a common vassal. Do not abuse my goodwill. I might have lost enough people today. You are the most heavily augmented person I've ever seen who is not a servant of the Omnisaya. My appearance horrifies you, doesn't it? When I had not yet renounced the innate limitations of humanity, the von Valancius dynasty was fading, But now look, the Protectorate is thriving. I've had to sacrifice some of my human nature, yes. But what have I gained in return? New worlds, new horizons? I do not expect you to understand. You are not a rogue trader, after all. Your world is too small to appreciate the scale of my conquest. What quality should a good rogue trader possess? The God Emperor granted us the warrant of trade to expand the borders of the Imperium, to explore the far reaches of the galaxy, and annex new worlds. To do this, a rogue trader must be flexible where the laws of the Imperium are cumbersome. He must be driven not by greed, but by a thirst for discovery. And of course, he must be a leader whom others will follow. Without loyal subjects on the ground, one cannot maintain one's rule over the Protectorate. You are absolutely right. Siberian's Vox synthesizer emits a chuckling trill. Your opinion hardly signifies. I have history on my side, and it will show that I was right. If you will permit me to take my leave, your lordship. Off you go. You've taken up enough of my time.
It's about time.
Alright, Laria. Oop. Get them read about the time loop. I just wish to discuss the missing Kapak reinforcements. I believe I have a suspect. Sarbak is lying about his injury. Even if Isamond did duel with the Kapak sign without the latter's sword, he can prove very little. Sarbak is the only person with a plasma gun, a gift from his father. It does cast a shadow over him, or he simply makes him the most convenient suspect. Sarbak is certain that we will soon be granted a noble title. I'm well aware of his ambitions, but however I may feel about them is not cause to call him a murderer. But perhaps we were still missing a link in the chain. There's no other evidence to confirm my suspicion. Okay. What am I missing? Sergeant Zardikov, Ruban Krozhnikov.
Victory awaits!
Kroshovak. Standing at attention before you, as clumsily as his gawky figure would suggest, is a gangling young fellow. The neck so long his head looks like a servo skull floating above his shoulders. Private Ruben Krashovash. Persimmon to permission to salute. I've been at your post long. Not long enough to be tired. I only just relieved Sarabak, the one who's been assigned to keep an eye on us all. But who can't even follow the uniform regulations? He got himself all dirty the other day, dragging enemy corpses. A pilot, then? Yes, sir. No good to anyone on solid ground. Recently heard that some noble position got hit by artillery. It seems. The banners scattered like a flock of birds. I wish I knew who it was. The regiment's a little out of the ordinary, I see. I know you'll think everyone says this about themselves. If it wasn't for busy nitpicking, I wouldn't be here. Unauthorized touching of a consecrated perimeter. Well, where was I supposed to sit? In mid-air? Desecration of a shrine? It's not like I smoked the place out on purpose. Reuben heaves a sigh, as if coming to terms with his senses all over again. Anyways, I'm not complaining. How else would I have gotten to the Astra Militarum? My health's not good, but they're not picky in the Penal Legion. God Emperor willing, I won't die before I can prove I'm worth something. What are you people saying about the Kaprak reinforcements? It's not for me to know, so I don't listen. They all say the same thing. Without reinforcements, they're in trouble. That's why I keep both ears shut. No point in stirring up fear. I've seen what you will become. A hero. The soldier listens in bewilderment to your lamentable tale of the pilot and his pleas that were answered only by the silence of space. And of the distant planet Zarkov, where the people honor his memory. You tell a good tale, and a planet named after a sergeant. What a laugh. So long, soldier. Krashovash fervently makes a sign of the Aquila, trying to pour all of his reverence into the gesture. Okay. Sergeant Zarkov. The squat man, his neck almost sunken into his broad shoulders, lazily makes a sign of the Aquila in front of his chest. We meet again, my lord. Sorry for not letting you in right away. That's the job. Do you know anything about the Kaprak reinforcements? Not a thing. We've been waiting days. Something's happened to them, I guarantee it. We'll have to muddle through our own. But me and my lads are no strangers to that. We were told to stick it out, but that's what we'll do. You lead the Moreau regiment, I take it. You're exactly right, my lord. I'm this regiment's first ever sergeant. For the corpsman, I born and trained. Maybe you'd need someone smarter than me. But with this lot, found the knack. You've got to choose your words carefully if you want good results. They're human beings too, after all, and soldiers of the Imperium. Have you been standing guard long? We just relieved Sarabak and his enforcers. He's a decent commander, keeps everyone in line, but doesn't go looking for things to gripe about. Just to make himself out to be highborn, though. My lads can't stomach that. So we don't get along better. One day, an entire planet will be named after you. You're joking, are you? Right you are. The lads say my sense of humor was shot up by a lasgun when I was a kid. I only laugh when it's a direct order. Zarkov smiles, but his broken jaw makes it look more like a snarl. Point to the bloodstains. The Kaprak sign was here. Tell me what you have done to him. I swear on the Holy Throne we saw nothing. Why would we do such a thing? We don't want to die before our time. We'd be nothing but delighted to see any reinforcements. We better talk to the Seneschal. She's a sensible woman. She'll know what's in a heartbeat. That's all. God Emperor willing, we'll see each other again, my lord. Oh, hello. Interesting. Uh-oh. Oh my god. of course, out of the way. Wow. Why are we locked outside? Wait, hold on. Why are we not allowed in? Run that back real quick for me. Run that back for Daddy. Oh, we're inside now, apparently. I think. Question mark? It's hard to tell. Severian looks like a statue of himself. Head held high, shoulders domed back, the folds of his heavy cloak rippling in the wind. He watches his assembled entourage with a resolute gaze, waiting for everyone's attention before he finally speaks. His Vox synth-enhanced voice carries across the square. Allies, the servants of the Holy Ordos, have ridden roughshod over the covenants of the God Emperor. Inquisitor Af-Iraman has threatened the life of a rogue trader, and the dignity of his loyal servants. For this, the enemy will die by my hand. The rogue trader squares his shoulders and addresses the assembly. The enemy has drawn close to the palace gates, and it is time to fight back. Pardon my impertinence. Would your lordship care to hear from your vassals before the battle? My life is not the only one at stake here, but all of yours as well. I will listen to anyone who has something to say. With a quiet worm, the lens of his optical implant focuses on Laria. The Seneschal will be the first to speak. The rogue trader's decision is not to everyone's liking. You see wry smiles and tense looks, and no one dares to argue. I will be brief. Laria speaks matter-of-factly, as if reading from a report. The enemy vastly outnumbers us. The best place to stage a line of defense is right here in the inner palace. Loyal people and military prowess are the only things we can rely on now, your lordship. Listen to the words of a warrior, not a dilettante. Not a dilettante. Dilettante. For some reason that word just doesn't sit right in my mouth. Dilettante. Yeah, that's right. Not a dilettante. We need to go on the defensive and exhaust the enemy. The gates are our main advantage. Siberian turns his head towards you, and his implants respond with a metallic grinding sound. What about you? Surely your advice won't be to lock ourselves up behind the gates, and wait for the enemy to present himself to be slaughtered. Signal to Exalt 117. Careful preparation for the battle is sensible, isn't it? Careful partitioning of the situation will facilitate a satisfactory conclusion to the confrontation. The tech priest emits a low binaric trill. My computational capacity will be redirected to calculating optimal defensive tactics. Lawyer was right to point out that we should trust in our people. Proceed with caution. I also wish to hear from those who have held their peace thus far. Speak freely, counselors. Do not fear that your words will be misinterpreted. I wish to hear from everyone. Juvenna von Valancius. Father! Juvenna takes a step forward and stares intently at Siberian. Please trust me, just this once. Our enemy is strong and formidable, but reasonable. I'm skilled in diplomacy. Let me go to Deis Ferrous and treat with him on your behalf. It will only make the dynasty stronger. If my way fails, then let the Meltigans and Lasgans speak in my place. I've done a great many things in my life. Proposing an alliance can often accomplish more than declaring war. A well-timed agreement will increase your influence 100-fold, even one made with an enemy, especially one made with an enemy. Oh, give me a moment. The boy is thirsty. This has just been another like really reading heavy episode, and that just messes up my throat. I, Isamon Sarabak, prepared to undertake the mission of protecting the negotiator during a diplomatic visit. The enforcer gives a curt salute. The rogue trader catches your eye. You suggested I listen to my retinue, but what do you have to say? Do you, too, think one can negotiate with a rabid Grox? I see no point in negotiating, because I don't trust Javanna and Isamon, so I want to try to undermine them. I see no point in negotiating. It is too late for that. Enough! I've heard enough! A frustrated trill erupts from Siberian's Vox grill. Look at yourselves. This entire council is a farce. A despicable sham that has forced me to waste precious time. My retinue is incapable of finding a consensus. Councilors, retreat to the palace. I will dispatch the traitors myself. The time for diplomacy, tactical trickery, and deals is over. To battle for the Von Valancius dynasty. Siberian snatches the blade from its sheath and raises it high above his head. Oh, there goes the door. Got a whole bunch of Sisters of Battle moving in, too. Retreat to the palace and hold the defenses, now! Oh my god. My sword! Siberian von Valancius, I, Inquisitor Daidas of Inaman, name myself your executioner. Let this heretic who bowed down before the Xenos abomination be consigned to the flames. The sentence is binding, the seal is set, for the glory of the God Emperor. Huh. Okay. Interesting. That is a weird way for him to fold in on himself. And we reset back to the beginning. Interesting. Just obtain the access code to the palace gates and give them to Javanna. Max is still warm. Continue. Continue. He's on Javanna's side. His report. Oh my god, there's so much moving around here. Between life and death. With the buff covers our Gomez Palace under siege. Oh my god, this is a little overwhelming. Okay, hold on. Give me a second here. What the fuck? Okay, so response to the temporal loop, one that recreates the siege of Rome again and again, a way must be found to avoid becoming part of the spectacle for eternity. Superior trusts only his blade, a faith that deafens him to the counsel of his retinue during the council. While the sword remains at his side, the chances of steering events into a different course are slim. Juvenas proposes that Siberian negotiate with the Inquisition. If the council can be persuaded to support her, this outcome might break the temporal loop. Laurie is attempting to persuade Siberian to act with caution and trust his allies. Perhaps if the council can be swayed to her side, the temporal loop can be broken. Exalt 117 can be convinced of the chrono anomaly's existence and supporting the council secured. Those trapped within the temporal loop do not comprehend where they are. Something hinders their perception of anything that falls outside the monstrous spectacle. They labor to weave the rogue trader into their own reality. Camilla reacted suspiciously to the idea of her as governor. Does she cover the position, and by what means might she claim it? Okay. So you not heed either side. You must achieve a majority. I think I accidentally played that down the middle, and that messed it up previously. I'm not entirely sure. There's so many moving pieces, it actually hurts my head a little bit. Branok Zarkov is acting on Lara's orders, either give him different orders or remove him from the board. Laria is frantically devoted to her father. It will take something truly significant to make her support negotiating with. It will take something truly significant to make her support negotiating with the Inquisition. Majos does not support Juvena's plan. He must be persuaded. If Mitsabac is loyal to Juvena, his support should be maintained. Superior needs to be frightened of Crimson Dance game to go against him. Juvena must be persuaded to trust the Rogue Trader. Camille drive Sims on Juvena's side. Gate and give them to Juvena. Dear goodness
I'll lay
gracious.
claim to the stars.
Okay. Consider the situation. It all looks so real, but if you listen closely, you cannot hear the thrumming of the hive. Even in the thick of war, it should be audible. Such a masterful reproduction. A question arises, unbidden in your mind. Would it not be easier to live out these hours in blissful ignorance just as the others do? After all, with each repetition, your actions would only become more familiar, more practiced, as if you were slowly turning into a servitor. So when you will and walk away, hoping to find a way out of the Xenos trap.
I won't tolerate weakness.
Okay, let's see. Notice that the blast crater has grown larger. Interesting. Hi, Laria. Can I bring all this information back to you? Yep. You yourself suggested I use it as proof that we're in a time loop. Time loop. Siberian. To save To save Siberian at the right moment, you must walk away from him and trust Juvena. Betray my father? No! Your assurances alone are not enough for that. Prove that you are a friend to the dynasty. Solve the Kaprak case. In the meantime, I'll consider how far I'm willing to go. I've seen how this ends. At the War Council, Siberian does not listen to his retinue, relying only on his sword. Do not dare blame the Lord Captain. Blame the hangers-on who buzz around him like malfunctioning servo skulls. We need Father to hear only those loyal to us and those whom you manage to bring to our side. As for the blade, at my request, Siberian is keeping it under guard. The artifact is eroding our soldiers' morale. Some fools see the blade as the reason for the siege. Stealing it would be pure folly, would it not? And finding someone brave enough to steal it would be an even greater folly. Laria says with a barely there nod towards the outpost. That should have been your answer from the off. Is it not clear that my words are to be heeded? Laria arches an eyebrow in surprise. You should thank the God Emperor for sending you my way. Few seneschals would have listened to your words with the hope of extracting even a grain of truth from them. That'll be all for now. Maybe you need me, the signet ring, an evidence, and a suspect. Line guard of injury, only person with a plasma gun, granted a noble title. Sarbak was on guard at the outpost today with only his people. Suspicion in the extreme. But the only thing that stymies us here is that we do not know the time of the Gaplak Scion's death. We are not connected to Isamon's stint on duty. Oh, for crying out loud. Oh, there we go. Under any other circumstances, I'd be far more prudent in my approach. But you have many loops ahead of you. If we make a mistake, you'll be able to fix it. It is decided then. I shall order the arrest of Isaman Sarbak. Okay, cool. He deserves it. The Seneschal issuing the order over the box. The Seneschal issues the order over the box. He takes To take Sauerbach into custody and send interrogators to him. Her tone brooks no argument. Do you know the master code for controlling the gates? Communing with the machine spirits is the remit of Major Exalt 117, and you would have done better to ask him. But I have memorized the code. It is too important that the gate remains closed. With bold strokes, the seneschal scribe scribbles the code's digits on the page in her notebook and hands the paper to you. I have something to tell you. Speak plainly. The air defense turret system has been damaged by the enemy. It was operational this morning. Damn it. Talk to Major Exalt 117. Have him check the turrets again. First the reinforcements, and now this. Furrowing her brow, Laria leans towards you and lowers her voice. I suspect there is conspiracy afoot in the palace. I need someone to be my ears and eyes. I cannot stop away from my post. Observe, listen, report. In the name of the Lord Captain, we need to find the traitor. The enemy's next move is to bombard the headquarters or our defensive line. You hear Laria grinding her teeth. This is bad. Very bad. Thank you for the information. I hope your source is reliable. My source is I saw it fucking happen in a different loop. You know this. That's everything I know. That's everything. And... okay.
Follow my lead.
Exalt. Yep. I'm Deis. Continue. Continue. Convince them that there's in a time loop. You're in a time loop. So to say this, can you help me destroy the anomaly? What would your actions be in this situation? If the end is always the same, then all we can study are the trajectories of movements toward it. I would determine the vectors of movement of each of the participants, and in the quest for truth, I would not reject a single tactical maneuver, even if it required stepping into the line of fire or following the course chosen by the enemy. A vector always has a direction, and the most perverse trap always has a design. Try to understand what the purpose of this trap is, and subvert it. When Siberian convenes his war council, I will decide how we should proceed. Wait for a sign. May the Omnisaya lead us to our objective. Your attention is required elsewhere. Your calculations are regrettably flawed. The inner perimeter turrets require an immediate inspection. Please do not encroach upon a control radius beyond your competence. A layperson, which you are, does not possess sufficiently advanced knowledge to assign priority to malfunction events. Please, listen to me, Majos. I know of what I speak. As an exception, I will enter this data into my observations profile. Information received. Priority changed. For some reason, the probability of critical errors continues to increase in proportion to the necessity of the function. Cool. I go through the gate. The Crimson Dance of Cain rests under thick glass like a museum piece.
None shall stand in my way.
Okay. Consider the situation. Summon your will. Okay, Exalt's now up there. That's promising. What happens when we talk to him here? Your vector indicates a request for contact. Allow me to assist with the repair of the air defense system. Remarkable accuracy of the rituals of Tech Sacrament. I would like to meet the person who calibrated you. We managed to repair the air defense systems. Regrettably, the information you seek lies outside the circuit of knowledge accessible to the laity. However, calculating the path to comprehending the anomaly requires complete data. The matter is that the air defense battery does not require repair. The error that disrupted the guiding mechanism was introduced into the navigational grid using basic access codes. The probability of this being an accident is minimal. Logical calculation leads to a disappointing conclusion. There's an individual inside the headquarters who is sabotaging the sacred machines. I must take my leave. Okay.
Victory awaits.
That's good. When Isomond is missing. They're gonna wait for the air raid, most likely. So let's update Laria, I suppose? That's everything. Dialogue. The Valkyrie wing appears overhead in the sky yet again, thoughtlessly obeying the laws of the time loop. A moment later, its bombardment begins. Air defense battery, now appeased by Exalt 117, stirs into action in perfect unison. Each gun fires several bursts, forcing the Valkyrie to drop their shells early and retreat, so their strikes land only on the approach to the palace. Cool, huge. Should we go over here?
New challenge for me.
Hey, dude. I can see you're a good, honest soldier, but they're not all like you, are they? You're right. That's Sergeant Volkchik, for one. You can put a void rat in a uniform, but that doesn't make them a soldier. I'll tell you this. When Volkchik's around, keep your valuables close. So long, soldier. Yep, son of Aquila, Aquila, Zarkov, anything new from you? No, that's all. I think. This Pokemon possessing their call to allies. Yeah, Zarkov. Essential time on Laria's side, his support should be maintained. His support should be maintained in favor of defense. If someone saw Back's word run counter to the Seneschal's plan, he must be persuaded to side with Laria or eliminated by other means. Yet he's imprisoned. Juvena's voice says air carry special way. A way must be found to remove her from the board. Camilla drives him as soon. Okay, so we gotta talk to. Oh, goodness. Oh, I see. Okay, so these are two different ways to go about it. To go about this quest. I'm trying to do the defensive option. Yeah, I'm set up to be doing the defensive option. This I can set to do the aggressive option, I guess you could call it. Among Siberians in a circle. What else would advantage? Hold little. I'll say would hold little value to the Inquisitor. Heart in this. Okay, so we're good here. We're good here. We're good here because we want to. But I like Zarkov is on Laria's side. His support should be maintained. So this is Laria's support should be maintained. I'm pretty sure that's the case. The soldiers are loyal to them. Juvena's voice. Two lines of Z's voice, preventing him from trusting his allies. I'm not really sure what I can do about that. Camilla and Juvena. I need to find you two. Allegedly, you're over there. Must have been tucked in a corner that I couldn't quite see. Juvena von Volantis is kind of the problem, honestly. So Camilla. Lawyer Voigtia sent me. Continue. Okay, nothing new there. Juvena von Volantius. Throughout, I owe your attention. Oh, okay. To what do I owe your attention? The velvet tone with which Juvena greets you is impeccably courteous but cold. Everything about her figure, her bearing, even the expression in her bright blue eyes radiates polite aloofness. One moment. Juvena stares intently at your face. Yes, I think you'll do. I require a worthy companion for an outing beyond the gate. I wish to ascertain the condition of my family's altar. It is located in an alcove to the north, not far from here. Your companions may wait here. Alas, I am willing to extend my trust to you alone. I'd be pleased to go with you. Let us not delay. With a charming smile, Juvena takes your arm. Yeah, I figure she knows that we're already fucking around with shit. She's just jumping to the point. I mean, I have a 90% chance of the ballistic skill, but I do want to ask, what are you doing? God, I want to save here just so I don't have to go through everything again. Goodness gracious. I'm just gonna What are you doing? Beans. Fudge. Ah. I need to go through everything again. Alright, let's speed this along. Okay.
I won't tolerate weakness.
Yep, lower your voice. Continue, continue. Ah, jelly beans. Okay, so yeah, you do just need to shoot first on her. I'm pretty sure. Hold on. Ruban. Okay. I don't need to talk to these guys anymore. So let's. Hopefully, I didn't waste too much time. Then I can still talk to Exalt. I might have messed that up. If the bombing rate hits, I'm going to need to just restart. Continue. And now you're going to ask me to come speak of missing reinforcements. Present the evidence. Continue, continue. I believe I have a suspect. Do. He deserves it. Difficult to explain, but we're in a time loop. Then how would I know that the right armrest of the throne in the palace hall sits slightly higher than the left? Blast it! The curse burst from Laria's mouth before she can stifle it. The seneschal immediately begins to probe you for minute details about the palace. In the end, she is forced to admit that not even the spy could be so knowledgeable. Alright, that'll be all for now. Cool. End dialogue. Okay. Exalt, your priority. Gotta prevent the bombing run. Continue, continue. Convincing that the time loop exists. It's a fact. You're alive. On the outside, you died. You helped me destroy the anomaly. Your frames proceed. Attention is required elsewhere. The turret. This is a request from Laria Voigtvier. Information received. Priority changed. For some reason, the probability of critical errors continues to increase in proportion to the necessity of the function. And dialogue. Then we hop up here, we help him with it, immediately. Allow me to assist. Cool. Let's discuss new thoughts. Destroy the anomaly. Yeah, okay. Let's take my leave. Cool. And things fly by. Nothing ends up happening. Cool. Now back to where we were. Camilla drives them. Ugh. Okay, Juvena. Continue. Continue. What if I decline? Okay, she just says no. Oh, okay.
It's about time.
Camilla. Let's dispense with the pleasantries and get straight to the point. Army. Okay, nothing new. Okay. Rest my eyes, Lord, I'm awake. Urian, Jarub, don't really need him. Ladia. Okay, I guess we really only talk to Siberian right now. Continues. Malleus Surgeon. Haskapak. Know that the Inquisition is a dangerous enemy. If Haskapak's reinforcements on I arrive, would be the worst. You really are Siberian. You're alive. Might as well hit that, because why not? At this point, I am just kind of trying to speed through this so I don't get stuck in this time loop for 2 hours trying to make sure I get everything right. A harsh, unpleasant sound bursts from the box field, briefly deafening you. I see the acolytes of Deis are working hard, wagging their tongues in this case. I hope you have not repeated this absurd rumor to anyone. If false news of my demise reaches my vassals, we may never see any reinforcements. No, you do not understand. I'm your descendant. Please, I'm sick and tired of this game. Even after all these years, after all the modifications. Siberian wraps his fingers against his chest, producing a hollow clanking sound from beneath his uniform. The noble houses have still not given up hope of finding ties to the rogue trader dynasty. If you knew how many such bastards I have executed, you would not dare to spew such lies. You should abandon your dreams of the warrant if you wish to keep your life. I heard that you seek to strengthen the dynasty's position with the help of a valuable artifact. Found out about that too, did you? No point in hiding it. I did indeed have an artifact in my possession. A blade of incredible power. Lara insisted that I place the artifact under guard and not agitate the soldier. I confess, I felt more at ease with it in my belt, but the Seneschal's argument was more sensible. Do you think this artifact is good enough to strengthen the position of the Von Valancius dynasty? Your interest in my dynasty is endless, isn't it? You should know that my plans are far more ambitious. House Von Valancius will soon be the most powerful rogue trader dynasty in the Expanse. But do not hold your breath for details of my plan. We'll have to wait and see. Just know that the Von Valancius dynasty is in good hands. The rogue trader waves you off as if shooing away a bothersome fly, scattering drops of machine oil on the ground as he does so. Keep your flattery to yourself. I never thought I would find you alive. You are caught in a trap, and we must flee. A trap? The Inquisition is a dangerous foe, no doubt about that. Nevertheless, this foe still stands on my land, in my protectorate. Diodos is doomed to failure. Show him Siberian's diary. If you don't believe me, then look at this. The truth is written in your own hand. What is this? The litany of the last repentance? You must be joking. It does not befit me to write such words. Despite the fact that Siberian is holding his own diary, his confusion seems genuine. Do you recognize the name Amela? Siberian's hand darts towards his weapon, the augmented fingers locking around the grip with a hiss. How do you know that name? Who else have you told? Wait a moment. You can't be. Coming to some conclusion only known to him, the rogue trader relaxes. I will keep your identity a secret. Amela is my ally and protector, and I had faith that she would not leave me to fend off Dietus alone. Show Amelia's letter. Look, they made an exhibit out of your life, and this is one of the exhibits. Oh, beans, okay. Siberian's augment disfigured face drains of color, but his voice sounds surprisingly steady as he gives the order. Guards! A spy has infiltrated the palace. Open fire! Well then. Okay. Blah 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 blah. Got that. In dialogue. We don't need to talk to these guys at all. We don't need to talk to these guys for the side that for the side of the quest that we're working on. You just beeline over here. Oh. And since the explosion's true nature of the replicas.
None
Okay.
shall stand in my way.
Hey, Laria. Yep, continue. And then go and ask me about the law. Present the evidence. Continue. Believe I have a suspect. Sarbok. No other evidence. Deserves it. We're in a time loop. The wax is still warm. You must believe me, no matter how crazy it sounds. Causing it to repeat itself forever. Stuck in this loop for many cycles. Save civilian at the right moment. You must walk away from him and trust Juvena. No, we don't want to do that. Don't want to do that. I will think of something. Because Juvena is currently for the enemy. Um. Factory caution and trust his allies, perhaps the council can persuade to his side, this full loop can be proved. Man, I'm really happy that I ended last stream on me dying the first time and restarting, because holy cow, this is taking a minute. It's probably because I'm just stupid, but... The Kapak Air. Wait a second. Give noise and moving from the board. To your father, it will take something truly significant to make you support negotiating with the Inquisition. Juvena must be persuaded to trust the rogue trader. Camilla drives him on Juvena's side. His support should be maintained. Where is... Wait, where is... Negotiations. Call to allies. There we go. Strong argument in favor of the defense. Yeah, I gotta get that. That's what I'm doing next. Yeah, okay.
Victory awaits.
Exalt. Continue. That. Help me destroy the anomaly, blah. Such as required elsewhere, the perimeter turret. Please listen to me, and dialogue. Hop up here, talk to him again. Let me to assist. Take my leave. Cool. Juvena's now missing. Okay, she's over here right now. Okay, she's up here now. Elena to servants of the Golden Throne. Coordinates to strike the main headquarters. Jai, Rho Sigma. The tall woman standing over the Vox is fully absorbed in your transmission. Does not notice your presence. A riveting conversation, is it? At the sound of your voice, the woman instantly cuts off the Vox transmission and wheels around. It appears you have just interrupted an exchange with the Inquisition forces. This is probably why I missed you last time. Whoever you are, allow me to put a stop to your scurrilous thoughts at once. I am Juvena von Valancius, the sole and, of course, legitimate heir of my dynasty. Remember that, and perhaps our little misunderstanding can still turn into a pleasant conversation. We must be discreet and not draw the attention of the guards. Otherwise, we shall both have to explain ourselves. But unlike me, you will have mere seconds to do so, before being shot on my command. What compelled you to conspire with your enemies? The affected calm instantly evaporates from Juvena's face, and her beautiful features twist in rage. My father is a half-witted heretic and a madman who has brought the wrath of the Holy Orders down upon the entire dynasty. If I, the only legitimate heir, do not right his wrong, no one will. But instead of embracing me, he chooses that base-born upstart Voigtveer, who indulges him in his wickedness, and I shall put an end to it. Give them alternate coordinates, and I swear no one will find out about this. Juvena raises one perfectly defined eyebrow. I was prepared for anything but. Cutting herself off, she crosses her arms over her chest. No matter. Name the direction, and I'll start the transmission. Request that the strike be called off. It is no longer needed. The noblewoman's expression turns pained, as if she were suffering from toothache. I suppose, after all, you seem to know what you're doing. She turns to the Vox again. Alana to servants of the Golden Throne. Code Entracte. I do not seek a confrontation with you. On the contrary, I propose we join forces. And why should I believe that? Juvena gives you a charming smile, tilting her head to the side. Oh, and I got myself into a dead end here. Because both the options are just trying to betray Siberian. I feared this was going to happen. Uh... A heresy-obsessed ruler will lead the dynasty to ruin. I wish to purge the von Valancius dynasty of this corruption. A laudable aspiration. It is especially curious that I'm learning of it here and now. The von Valancius heir looks at you with keen interest. We should discuss the details. Now I can speak freely. Like casting off a mask, Juvena instantly drops her bored noblewoman act and takes to observing you with lively interest. Or maybe that was just to fucking lie to her and convince her to fucking follow what I say. Well then, first things first. You must remember that to the Inquisition I am Alana. To you now as well. She pauses for a moment, as if assessing whether you have grasped what she said. I hear no objections. That is a good sign. Let's move on to your instructions. A member of House Kaplak has been killed along with his men. Was this the work of Alana? Ovidius Kaplak's company was destroyed on my orders, it is true. Palatine and Lord Conda, having learned of their approach from me, brought the full might of the Adeptus Sororitas down upon their heads. But Ovidius survived, which was not part of my plan. Camilla Drivestem was eager to assist me and to settle a score with an old foe in one fell swoop. Captain Sarvok was both competent and ambitious enough to carry out such a delicate commission. What compelled you to conspire with your enemies? The affected calm instantly evaporates from Juvena's face, and her beautiful features twist in rage. My father is a half-witted heretic, and a madman who has brought the wrath of the Holy Orders down upon the entire dynasty. If I, the only legitimate heir, do not right his wrongs, no one will. But instead of embracing me, he chooses that base-born upstart Voidfear, who indulges in his wickedness. I will put an end to it. I'll take 850 experience. Whom among his retinue does Siberian listen to above all others? Let me think. The Tech Priest's words are definitely more than just wasted air to Siberian. Exalt 117 would be a valuable ally for us. And the Moravians are another possibility. Strange as it may be, my father values his fighters and often converses with their commanders personally. And of course there's Laria. I think I messed this up because I didn't deal with her. Juvena winces as if her sister's very name disgusts her. But her dogged devotion to my father is unlikely to be shaken. Regarding the airstrikes, I'm listening. What is the priority target now? I have no arrangements with this. I don't want to give her the codes, I don't think. I suppose, Alana, we ought to return to the others. Yes, I suppose so. Juvena returns to a deliberately formal tone. Now remember, you are merely accompanying a noble lady on her daily constitutional. I think I screwed this up. Chromia stops just at the moment when the bombardment of the command headquarters ought to begin. You hear the usual sounds of battle, as well as sentries idly bickering about something or other. The brass amplifier of the public address systems are silent. It seems there'll be no airstrike this time around. Uh-huh. Can I try to dispose of her still? For throne's sake, what are you doing? Explain yourself. Juvena's words ring with irritation. Any more of this, and I shall begin to think you are deliberately sabotaging our plan. You have cost us Issamond. Holy terror, do you have the faintest idea what it took to get my father not only to notice that low-born upstart, but to begin taking him seriously? Here's an accident. My mistake. I hope that it was. For your sake, I would really hate to regret my decision to trust you. With this cold, curt retort, Juvena dismisses you with a graceful sweep of her hand and leaves. Would you care to discuss the deeds of Saint Elena in private with me? Would you like to continue this conversation in a more personal vein? A little promenade to take in the theater of battle won't do us any harm. Juvena takes your arm, smiling slyly. Come. Okay, this is a different spot now. Fuck. I can't do away with her. Beans. I think I screwed up this loop again. I think I screwed up the loop again, guys. What was it that you wished to discuss? Juvena looks at you inquiringly from under her long lashes. I don't think I want to give her the codes. I'm pretty sure giving her the codes is for her ending. Return to the others. And... Yep. Hold on, let me double check. If I go to Whispered Negotiations, trust the rogue trader. Orders, give them move the board, allows the fancy vote to your father, takes them through. Put your band's plan, but persuade eliminated by any other means. Experienced retinue is 2 friends of the Crimson Blade. Expect to trust the rogue trader. Camilla Drysdale's on Juvenna's side. Her support should be maintained. Give them to Juvenna. Yeah. The Palace. That is for the. I do not want to give. I'm pretty sure I already screwed over this run, honestly. Is the thing. Maybe on through time. So this is the real murder of the Capac Scion. The Duchess flinches, and the silk thread of the necklace snaps, sending beads scattering across the pavement. It is beyond impertinent to accuse me, the head of a noble house, of such a heinous offense. Even if there were proof, you are no one here, and your word is nothing against mine. I will listen to your fabrications, but only because you will surely start pestering other important personages, who cannot have gossip at a time like this. Why did you do it, Camilla? The Gaplak's man was supposed to help, to bring an army. The Caprac forces were laughable. They were routed in no time at all. House von Valancius had no need of such vassals. In fact, I've done the dynasty a favor by finishing off the worm that crawled to the gates of its master. Not to offer military might, but to beg for it. I do not seek your understanding. It takes considerable experience to appreciate the significance of such a deed. You've chosen a curious time for court intrigue. I shall say one thing. Anyone who truly cares for the dynasty knows that it is no use for weak allies. The noble Drivestems will stand by with the von Valancius to the end, whereas the Cabraks, sooner or later, will drag all the highest nobility down with them. Think what you will like about me, but know that Lady Juvena sees the matter as I do. How exactly did it happen? Ah, so my accuser does not know the full story. Allow me to enlighten you. It happened at the changing of the guard. Terribly convenient timing it was. That skillful Sarbach fellow dispatched the surviving Kaprak boy and returned to the outpost as if nothing had happened. I do not know the rest of the details. Such things spoil the appetite. How did you bribe Isamon Sarbach? No need for such base insinuations. Bribery had nothing to do with it. The Sarbachs are insignificant people with pitifully few privileges at court. The only way to entice one of that ilk is with the promise of a noble title. But now, Isamon shall not have it, for he cannot hold his tongue. It seems that you yourself have fallen victim to the subtle manipulations of one individual. Nonsense! Bereft of her usual prayer beads, the Duchess digs her fingers into the edge of her ornately decorated belt. All she told me was that Ovidius Kaprak would arrive unaccompanied. For years, my house has battled against the influence of those servitor-brained upstarts. It would have been foolish not to see such a shining opportunity. The Duchess falls silent upon hearing her own words. Her eyes briefly cloud over like cracked glass, and suddenly she looks like a tearful, hurt old woman. She takes a step forward, crushing a bead under her heel. Well, pat yourself on the back. You have opened my eyes, Lady von Valancius. Lady von Valancius always preferred to act through intermediaries, and that gave her special honor in the eyes of aristocracy. It appears that I was her tool this time. The unnatural pale, mask-like face of the Duchess of Dargonis splits into a bitter, resentful smirk. That girl learned from the best. So take your revenge. I promise. I'll find a moment that'll be especially painful for Juvenna. You, I see, are adept at playing courtly games yourself. Good. I shall await your sign, my dear. Okay, so that's actually really good, because now we have Camilla on our side. Do a line on the Xeno. So the only thing I'm really concerned about is the Xenos Blade and Juvenna, because I think I messed that up. But I think we might be good. Laria. House of Heresy. Something to tell you. Juvena is a spy for the Inquisition. I'm sure of it. I have no reason to doubt you, but Siberian will not believe his daughter's actions have gone beyond the usual palace intrigue. Juvena might assure you otherwise, but she is too spoiled by everyone's regard to even notice how very fond father is of her. Laria utters the last words with some effort. If she is the one behind all this, we need to catch her in the act of passing information to the enemy. Nothing else will do. That's everything I will know. I'm gonna need to do another loop to get that. We just got some missing Gapok reinforcements. Hope you have not come empty-handed. The Gapok sign was killed at Juvena's instigation. She spurred Camilla drives them to act. I have no reason to doubt you, but Siberian will not believe his daughter's actions have gone beyond blah blah blah. Leave Camilla drives them to me. She will play her part yet. I hate these courtly games, but if you think it best, so be it. Okay, that is everything. Okay. I guess I'm just gonna kill time, I think. From the time before the War Council in listless rumination, I'll give this War Council a go. If not, I'm gonna wrap it up here. And try to figure this out late next stream. Because I might need to do another loop to catch Juvena in the act of calling Inquisition. Which I can't do now because I kind of messed that up. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay, we got him here. Oh, fuck, big stretch. Okay. Finish the top by my hand. Hear from your vassals before the battle. Continue. Best way to stay on defense. Yeah, she says the same thing. Says the same thing. Suppressive parameters, the transmission speeds are satisfied and will stop any airstrike. That's also true. As we've started, enemy strikes and casualties are minimal. This gives us the advantage. Signal to Exalt. Careful preparation for the battle is sensible. Yeah. Signal to Camilla. I think this plan will seem worthy of the Duchess of Dargonis. Lady Voigtvir is entirely correct. Wait, what? Oh, I should have arrested her. Wait, that was a check mark on Call of Sun. Oh no, Voidsphere is my ally. Yeah, that's actually good. Okay, cool. Awesome. Lady Voidsphere is entirely correct. Camilla Drivesen's voice sounds surprisingly firm. Her competence in the art of war is undeniable. Lario is right to point out that we should trust in our people and proceed with caution. You have held their peace so far. Yeah, she's trying to do diplomacy. I've seen no point in negotiating, it's too late for that. Laria, you have proven time and time again that I can rely on you. I know you are acting solely in the best interests of the dynasty, and I trust your judgment. Siberian's hand rests on the hilt of his sword, which is secured in an ornate sheath at his belt. But you forget, I possess a blade that has no equal. Siberian grips the hilt, unsheathes the sword, and swings. It cuts through the air with a whistle. A shadow of fear passes over the faces of the retinue. I'm not a coward who hides behind his people. I'm Siberian von Valancius, and I will lead you into battle to cut down the traitor who has defied the will of the God Emperor. Diodas will answer for his insults to his anointed. Come now, Lord Siberian. You can't even defeat me with that blade. The rogue traitor stills, astounded by your insolence. I allowed you to speak at the council, and this is what you have to say? Stop your nonsense. So I could have just fucking deck him with a fake fucking space marine Ulfard. See for yourself, your lordship. I'm willing to risk my life to prove I'm telling the truth. I will make you eat your words. Siberian unsheathes his sword, giving you time to assume a defensive stance and strikes. Hard, but slow enough for you to parry it. The instant your swords collide, the crimson dance of Cain shatters into myriad shards that vanish in flashes of venomous green light. Silence descends, broken only by the distant echo of gunfire and explosions. Secure Jarub support? Why do I need Jarub support? Unthinkable. How is this possible? Siberian raises his astonished gaze at you. How did you know? Rest assured, I will demand an answer from you after the battle is over. For now, accept my thanks. I owe you my life. Siberian raises his arm in an imperious gesture. Allies, the time has come. Heed my order. Carry out Seneschal Voigtvir's plan. Prepare to defend the palace. For the von Valancius dynasty. For the Emperor! Okay. We are taking a defensive battle now instead of Siberian just charging out like a fool. The man before you is immediately recognizable as a servant of the Golden Throne. Thanks to his heavy insignia of dull gold, the man is swathed in dark fabric, with a cloak of rough cloth thrown over the top. His face, which is heavily lined but not by the ravages of time, is so unremarkable that it is as if it were a deliberate attempt to make himself forgettable. But his eyes, no one would soon forget those. They are the eyes of someone who stares when others look away. Only someone of strong will or a mindless monster could withstand that penetrating gaze. Despite the Inquisitor's formidable presence, Siberian maintains his dignified bearing and bows his head with pointed courtesy. Greetings, Inquisitor. I've heard that the Rosé opens many doors. And it seems that my door is no exception. Allow me to introduce you to Deis, a loyal servant of my dynasty. Your ally was Seneschal Laria Voigtvir and side with Siberian in the confrontation against the Inquisition. Deis, this is Diodas of Af-Iraman, he who leads the enemy forces. I would not call making his acquaintance an honor, but you can decide that for yourself. Esteemed Diodas, let us put a swift end to this affair. I deny all your accusations and have no cause for repentance. I fear I shall be no less of a disappointment than Siberian, Inquisitor, for I too have nothing to repent before you. You see, there is neither need nor use in repentance, for our faith grants no redemption. But by the grace of the God Emperor, Siberian will furnish the Coronis Expanse with one final gift. It will serve as a reminder that the more he earns of his blessing, the heavier the burden of responsibility becomes. And for those whose backbone of faith should break under this burden, there is no other way but cleansing with holy fire. The Inquisitor's voice sounds muted and measured, lending weight to every word. Well, that's not how I voiced him. The Inquisitor draws out a scroll bound with ribbon. The dark wax seal yields easily, and Idamon unrolls the parchment. Line by line, he reads out the sentence. Steadily, with neither wrath nor triumph, he lists names, titles, and testimonies, and cites ancient decrees, until he arrives at the final lines. Let this impious heretic who bowed down before the Xenos abomination be consigned to the flame. The sentence is binding. The seal is set. For the glory of the God Emperor. May we have a chat as befits those of noble birth before we cross blades? Your attempt to delay the inevitable is as obvious as it is ridiculous. I will allow you to speak, not because of your title. In the eyes of the God Emperor, all heretics are equal. I'm only giving you this chance, so that you may realize for yourself the futility of your intention. We are all servants of the God Emperor. Must we spill our blood so senselessly? I like how my entire retinue is just facing the wrong way. Your companions murmur in agreement in response to your words. The Inquisitor suddenly turns his gaze to the Sisters of Battle. They stand as if carved from stone, and yet there is no peace in that stillness. Their bolters are raised just enough to take aim in a single motion. Soldiers, to me! Cover his lordship's flank! Assigning priority of the highest order to the vector of convergence with the enemy. Officers, gather the troops! Today the Tricems will go down in history as the only house to come to the defense of Dargonis and the Von Valancius dynasty. My heart is heavy with sorrow, Lord Captain. There is no greater torment than to stand opposing my own sisters in battle. Only my faith that all that this is a false and unholy apparition strengthens my spirits. The Inquisitor beckons, and the Sisters of Battle immediately raise their bolters. The ceremonial steel of their Sadisas seems to leer at you like the fangs of a ravenous beast. With a glance at Ladia, Siberian lunges forward with the same desperation as a void ship hurtling out of warp and into real space. To the glory of House Von Valancius! To victory! I mean, that should have, bisected that guy, honestly. Okay, this is a good sign, I think. This is also a very, very good spot for us to stop for the day. So, thank you all very much for coming around and hanging out. It does, fortunately, seem as though we have successfully broken the time loop. We just need to get through this fight, and I think we're good. But with that said, thank you all very much for coming around and hanging out. If you enjoyed the stream, please do consider giving me a follow over on Kick. If you missed any of the stream and want to catch up on the stream or any of my previous streams, I do upload everything over to YouTube later the day that I record them. Well, I guess stream them. Same thing in this case. If you're over on YouTube, please do consider giving me a like, comment, and subscribe, all that fun stuff. It does help out a ton. And do feel free to come over to my Kick streams. I do my best to stream every weekday for about 2 hours in the morning. But thank you all very much for coming around and hanging out. I hope everybody has a wonderful rest of your days. And peace out, homies.